What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and today we are back with another Market Watch, kind of talking to everything. A lot of things have happened, things have been banned, OP10 has released, and I think a lot of cards are incredibly overpriced, and that there are some cards out there underpriced. So as always, be sure to watch the full video. But before we dive in, if you can do me a favor, right here in the video description, right here, or even I'll have it right here in the comments. If you can click this TCGPlayer link, it allows you to support me with any TCG purchase you may make by just clicking that link, doing absolutely nothing else. It helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already, you can check out Vamp TCG. I just came back from Japan and I brought a lot of goodies back, including like these Korean exclusive playmats, and then some of these dons. Some of them are already out of stock. And then, of course, my latest release as well, the Year of the Snake. There's also this really cool custom boa leader if you haven't seen that. And let's go ahead and jump in. So we'll start here with OP10. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We got Sanji. I think this is pretty overpriced, truthfully. It was about 30 and it's now sitting around 50. These prices just don't make that much sense to me overall in OP10. Like, yes, this card is really good and it is a Nami for the Nami collectors. So it has that value, but I think we're just kind of really overvaluing everything right now, especially because we get Gerpo Luffy next month, and with the release of Gerpo Luffy, red falls out of a lot of favor. And I think this is just really overpriced. I also think the whole set as a whole, truthfully, is overpriced. I could be wrong. Pokemon is going through kind of like a renaissance, and we're like just kind of getting the second-hand effects of that, of just TCG hype in general. So I don't love a lot. I don't even have a playable deck right now because I just have refused to buy the singles. So be sure to use that link so I can afford to buy these singles. I don't play alt, so this isn't a worry for me, but I do think this card is incredibly overpriced. Same thing here, because if you look at Europe, it's nowhere near this price, 13. Well, here, let's just go ahead and then we can show just how the disparity between the two. We go One Piece. And then, yeah, 450. It is 580 in Europe. 580 in Europe, and we are here paying $13. This is just incredibly overpriced, and I just isn't sustainable. Eventually, somebody's just gonna, and it kind of started out here at 5, and this price is not right. Eventually, everybody's just gonna import a ton of them from Europe to us and like flood our market. But we should meet somewhere in the middle. But, of course, you know, all these regionals are coming up for this month. And then after this month, we all just play Gerpel. So it is what it is. But, so, yeah, EBO2 I think is going to be absolutely monstrous in terms of what we can expect. But, yeah, because we get slightly accelerating things. I think Sanji is incredibly overpriced. If you're not playing this deck, I would not touch these. Same thing here with Divine Departure. I think this card is incredibly overpriced. A lot of people get confused. Japan did the same thing, and we're just reliving it here. They thought it was a manga. I think this card's $50 tops. I would not buy this card right now. And I probably just will never own this card unless I pull it, even at $50. Because I truthfully, I think it's kind of bait. I don't think it's that good. It's like okay. It's good if Tashigi and Rosinante don't exist, but since those cards do exist, it's just all right in my opinion. And then, of course, 2020 Chopper, again, another card that I just think is incredibly overpriced. It just doesn't make sense. Like, when have red singles been expensive? But it is, like, the best red card that has been printed in, like, 7 sets. So, it is what it is, but it's a rare. It's a rare, so I don't love this price either, and I just haven't bought these, so it is what it is. I think Tashigi, though, Tashigi is very appropriately priced. I think it's a very fair price for Tashigi. This is about what Tashigi is priced in Japan, so I'm a fan of the price of Tashigi. Monet as well. I actually am probably just going to buy these 3. If you're going to play Marco, pick up your Monet. Monet is essentially 5 Don. That's how I look at Monet. and I break it down to you rest, you get 2, you -1, so that's 3 Don. Then your leader ability, because you attached, is going to go -2, which is 5 Don. So it's really just, it creates 5 Don worth of a power swing for your removal, which I really like. Big fan of Marco. I cannot wait to play Marco again. You guys know. Be sure to hit subscribe if you're looking forward to playing Marco in OP11. OG Marco Topper. And then kind of just looking ahead to OP11, the set cards, of course, Sanji. Sanji's actually gone down a little bit in price. He got kind of hyped there and was almost $40 and has slowly been making his way back down. We see here, it looks like back up to 30. We got some here at 26.09 for a 0% seller, so you can take that chance on somebody new. But they were just at, like, earlier today, 25. Somebody seems to have bought them. People are one step ahead of me, but I'm trying to make sure you're one step ahead of everybody else. So, yeah, Sanji, if you gonna play Blue Purple Luffy's going to absolutely dominate OP11, and I believe OP11 comes sooner than the other ones. It's either that or OP11 is our shortest format, and we jump into OP12. Based off of the release calendar. But Sanji is a must-have, or same if you're going to play Marco, it is a must-have. So be sure to pick up your playset if you're looking forward to play those. Same thing here, Bond Clay got really expensive and slowly came back down. I think a lot of the attention has left from there, and also people just trying to afford OP10 singles. But this card is going to be incredibly important, not in green-purple Luffy, but in blue-purple Luffy. We're going to need this. Gurple doesn't play it, but blue-purple does. And then as we look to EBO1, you're going to want Electric Lunas, because when you play 9 rounds of Gurple mirrors, this card is going to be a game-defining card and is going to enable you to win those mirrors. It is a tech card that has become very popular, and ours is cheaper than Japan is right now, so that's just usually a signal for me to pick up these cards. So definitely want to pick up your Luna. Definitely just have a play set at least. You can see like a lot of people have been buying them, and there's not a lot of sellers with very many, so be sure to pick them up while you can. I think it's one of those cards that's going to catch a lot of people off guard once we go into those mirrors. And then we did have the announcement of Kuzan. And with the announcement of Kuzan, we're going to look at Aramaki and Tashigi. Aramaki is, like the whole deck depends on the support, which we don't really know that much, right? Like there's a very few cards. I think Aramaki is a bad choice, but Tashigi made sense, and I think a lot of other people agreed. As you can see, over 188 sold. Tashigi was just $5 not too long ago, and then we see here, spiking all the way up. Like you see here, there were sales today, 7, 5, 6. She was very cheap, and now is $22. She would obviously be a key card of that deck, and then also with the addition of blue navy cards would be the key to any navy centric strategy. So I think it's I don't think it's a great pickup now, but once the attention goes away, I think this could be worth looking at, because we are 2 sets away from this card being useful, and we know nothing of his engine. And then if he turns out to be a flop, these could easily be back to $7, $10. Now, one of the big things, I think this card is like one of the most undervalued cards right now, is this Dracula Mihawk alt. The regular alt has increased in price quite rapidly. The OP01, arguably the better version, but this, of course, being that PRB. I did pick up a couple of these just because, again, the OP01 has gone back up. I think I bought an OP01 for under $15, but now I want to say they are $25 again. And so this one only being $8 for an alt. This card becomes relevant in OP11 later on. People start to tech this for green-purple because they make their putting a 7, and so you can still bot deck it with Mihawk to get it off board and to play control. So this is becoming a rising tech in OP11 in Asia. And I think, yeah, I think at $9, it's a really good buying point. Of course, with it also being PRB, it's another great reason to pick it up. Now, Benjamin Beckman as well. This card's like kind of like a red staple. You can see sales just fairly consistent. It does not. I mean, I highly implore everyone until PRB02 comes out to have a play set of Benjamin Beckman. Just because this card is so good, if you think you might play red between now and then, we do have an idea. We do know Roger is going to be red as well. Of course, it could get reprinted, and these will be just pennies, but it doesn't hurt to have them because you never really know. And then another card, if you're really interested in this, these are going to dry up very quickly, and I'm sure these will slowly disappear. Be sure, if you're picking these up, be sure to hit that link, YouTube comments or YouTube video description. But Nami from the Premium Booster, the full art, this card is becoming a tech choice as well as people move to play more 2Ks in the blue-purple Luffy deck. People are opting to play this Nami at like 2 or 4 of for a searchable 2K. And, of course, this being, is a very good-looking card. If you are a max rarity guy and, you need that flex, this is definitely the card to pick up. And then, again, it is PRB, and a lot of these cards have become pretty crazy, and they're just really hard to get overall because there's just so many alts you can pull. This one did kind of, it's still been around this price, so it's not the worst price to pick it up at. But again, there are not many available. And if you want this for like your collection, I highly implore you to pick one up sooner than later. But on the flip side, you do have the alternative, which is if you want to play an alt, you can play the live action of Arnami as well. It is the same card, and it is a lot cheaper. It is still around the same price that it has been, so it's a cheaper way to get in and use that alternate art if that is your thing. And then, of course, we talked about Thunder Bagua before. Bagua has kind of made its way back down in price, kind of losing that bit of attention it had. But do remember, this is an OP11 card. If you're going to be a blue-purple Luffy kind of guy, if Snake Man is your man, I highly recommend, if you don't already, make sure you have your playset of this. And then let's kind of just talk about these banned cards real quick. So you've got Ice Age, we've got Gecko Moria, and we've got this Gecko Moria. So this Gecko Moria right here, I think is well poised to be a decent leader, truthfully. And someone actually just got top 4 with Dofi in the mix, with Doflamingo in the mix, pre-Dofi ban. Came in 4th with Gecko Moria. You do get Ryuma in OP10 to help him out, but I think this leader is really underrated, and $22 just feels really good. But yeah, let's talk about this Gecko Moria. This Gecko Moria here, I think, I would buy these all day at 10. You just got to remember where he came from. He was $50, $60. You buy these at 10, they're probably not going down the 5, but they could easily go back up to 50 if he's unbanned. Ice Age, this card is a really pretty card. It's a great looking card. I like it more. I would buy these at $5. It was 22. It was expensive before it got banned. And I was like, dang, I really wish I just owned a playset of these. Yes, he was selling for $30 all day. I would love this card at 5s. I would own this card at 5s. I would own a play set, and then if it comes back, it comes back. I don't think this card will ever come back. But, at $5, these are really pretty, really cool to have. Great Don, be careful with that. But yeah, and this Gecko, $10. I mean, I think that's a steal. There's always the chance it could come back, especially with block rotation. Could create an opportunity for this to, of course, be weaker. And anything like that, or even in a block later down the line as they do it, and, they utilize these reprints, there could be the argument to bring one of these back as one of these leaders phase out, like potentially Lucci. So, yeah, I think just great long-term potential, anything like $10 on the Geckos. But as always, if you found this content of value, if you can do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and click that link in the YouTube video description, and I'll see you all in the next one.